Yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. I've been at OHEB for 3 weeks now. And in that time, I have gone on at least 5 tours of the building. I cannot guarantee that I can find all the light switches, nor do I know what all of the classrooms are called. But I do a pretty decent job of getting around. I went on a mini tour with Vanessa, our facilities manager, to learn my way around the kitchen and social hall and to get a sense of how our building is maintained. I went on a tour with Mike Zimmet to learn how we keep our building safe. I went on a tour with Barbara Blickman. She showed me how we use our building, and Suzanne Gold gave me a tour to show me how we make our building a welcoming, inclusive space. Mark Colbert gave me a tour of the AV systems. Each of these tours gave me a different insight, not just about the building, but about our community. Now, this connection between where we, as Jews, gather and who we are is made explicit in Parshat Balak. King Balak hires the sorcerer Bilam to curse the Israelite people. The king brings Bilam to a scenic overlook where he can see the Israelites. Each time that Bilam opens up his mouth to offer a curse, out comes a blessing. The final and most elaborate blessing includes the words which Jews traditionally recite each morning upon entering our sanctuaries. Ma tohu ohalecha Yaakov, how beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, Mishkanotecha Yisrael, your dwelling places, O Israel. This prayer is a prayer of gratitude for the spaces where we gather. It merits the question, though, why Bilam chose to open his prayer by praising not the people he was asked to curse, but the spaces which they inhabit. Bilam could have opened his blessings by describing the people directly. It's not as if the places they were living were so impressive. They were in transit. The people are living in presumably portable, collapsible tents. What was so noticeable about those tents that they were worth such particular attention? A midrash in the Talmud suggests that Bilam was inspired to open up his prayer because of the orientation of the tents. He saw that the tents were lined up such that the openings all faced one particular direction, so that anyone leaving their tent would not see into their neighbors' homes. He saw how respectful the Israelites were of each other's privacy, and that became the basis for his words of praise. In fact, the Talmud learns from this that whenever people are living together in a courtyard, and one of them decides to renovate their home, they must maintain their neighbor's privacy as they build or alter entrances and windows into their home. So Bilam praises the way that the Israelites respect each other's privacy in the way that they set up their tents. And the rabbis see his praise and learn from this that this is a value worth maintaining. Now, privacy is just one value that can be reflected in a space. When I toured Oheb Shalom, I learned much from the ramps and the walkers and wheelchairs in the side lobby, and the inclusion part at the entrance to the sanctuary. This is a community which is committed to supporting the needs of people with a variety of abilities. I learned from the pray and play space at the back of the sanctuary that we want our children to feel comfortable in shul, which my family is very grateful for. I also learned reason to think that there may be people out there to harm us, and that we are determined to take steps to protect ourselves and to not allow those threats to deter us from building and maintaining community. I learned from the display in the entranceway and on the bima highlighting the hostages of our strong connection with Israel and identification as members of the Jewish people. From our social hall and our coffee corner, I learned that we are a community that likes to gather together, and that when we gather, we like to eat or drink. From our live stream system, I learned that there are members of the community who cannot come in person all of the time, and that this is a community which cares to make sure to include them from afar. And to state the obvious, from our building, I can see in every room and in every space the value of Jewish tradition and practice. When I see our mezuzot, our art, our artwork, and our memorabilia. In Parshat Balak, Bilam is talking about the personal homes of the Israelites. But the practice that has evolved is to say Ma Tovu upon entering a synagogue. Jewish tradition understands tents to refer not just to the homes in which we as individuals or families live, but also to the buildings that Jewish communities build together to inhabit. This includes, therefore, the places where we study, where we pray, where we gather. So much of who we are and what we value, so much of who we want to be, comes through in the spaces that we inhabit. Some of this takes place without us thinking about it at all. Maybe the shul built a sanctuary and a social hall and a chapel because that is what shuls do. But so much of this can be intentional as well. The congregation chose to install live streaming equipment. The congregation chose to put a praying play space for children in the sanctuary. If our inclusion committee succeeds in installing a lift to make our old building accessible, that too would be a significant intentional manifestation of our values of inclusion. The prayer of Ma Tovu can be a helpful reminder both of the values that we are proud to embody in our spaces, and also of the values which we might wish our spaces would embody. We can ask ourselves, what is missing? In what ways might we align our spaces even more strongly with who we want to be? Interestingly enough, the words that are recited by many Jews every morning upon entering the sanctuary are words which were originally attributed to a non-Jewish sorcerer. They are the words of an outsider whose opinion we apparently value enough to include it in our daily liturgy. That too is a statement of values, that we lift up the words of those who speak the truth, whoever they may be. As it says in Pirkei Avot, Ezehu Chacham Halomed Mikol Adam. Who is wise? One who learns from everyone. So why is Ma Tovu recited each morning upon entering the sanctuary? It's a ritual. And the theory of ritual is that the ritual induces certain feelings that we want to cultivate. We say Ma Tovu when we come into shul in the morning, because when we say, how wonderful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, it can inspire us to pause and to appreciate what a blessing it is to have a Jewish community, to have places for Jewish prayer and places for Jewish learning, both of which are found in synagogues today. It can also inspire us to appreciate the ways in which our spaces and our community live out the importance of so many of the values which we hold dear. May we have many opportunities to continue to lift up and to deepen our commitment to inclusion, to Jewish peoplehood, and to the many other principles which we hold dear. Shabbat Shalom.